What's going on YouTube? Got another knife review here for you. Today we're going to be looking at the custom Les Voorhies. This is the Abrams V2. So Abrams like the tank, V2. This is a knife that I've had for some time. It's featuring S35 VN steel with a beautiful thin hollow grind on here with one of the thinnest edges here. And then it's got a either convex or flat grind. I'm not sure at the tip, but a thicker tip on this knife. So this, Les is a custom maker out of, I believe, Minnesota, and he's got a lot of different knives, ranging from model 9, 10, 11, 13 and 15, I think. I don't know if there's a 12 and 14, but anyway, so kind of a little bit like Emerson, like CQC 7, 8 and all that stuff. So but this one came up, and I'd never heard of it, and it's definitely special, a little bit different from some of Les's other work. It does have a pocket clip that I've taken off, and I don't have it here for the review, but it's one of his normal deep carry spring clips. And I think for me, it was a little bit uncomfortable on the knife. Not that it was like hot spots, but it made it a little abnormally thick for me. And so I think for this knife, I would like to have maybe like a milled clip made for it down the road if it's possible, whether by Les or by another custom modifier. But you can see on this knife there's 3 layers to this knife, and Les likes to do this a lot on a lot of his knives. So I'm going to get my Model 10 from Les. You can kind of see what I'm talking about here. On this knife, this one actually only has 2 layers right here. So it's got the titanium liner that's been anodized blue, and then on here you've got 3 different materials: Damascus, titanium, and Damascus. And so it's 3 different, not layers, but 3 materials that are all screwed into the scale, and then plus the pocket clip. On this Abrams, you've got the base layer of titanium that's been anodized blue, and then you have the raw titanium scale on top of that, and then on top of that you have what looks like a Damascus scale, but this is actually titanium that's been anodized. And I asked Les what method he used for this, and he basically used a pipe cleaner. And so the pipe cleaner, due to the fact that it has metal in it, was able to conduct an electric signal. I guess because it's wet also, but then he used it to kind of dab on top of it to give it somewhat of at different voltages, and then he was able to make this kind of dab pattern to make it look like Damascus. I think the thing that's particularly special about this knife is how, so it's thick this way, so it does fill the hand very well, but it's also very thin this way, and so it doesn't fill up your palm excessively, but at the same time it features a 3.5-inch blade, so you can see how much of the blade sits inside of the frame here. So you get a very, very large blade, and it's deceivingly large given the size of the frame of this knife. And it's not like the blade sits out that much. Given that this is kind of a Bowie style blade as well, it sits inside the frame. And this also a thick, a pretty thick blade stock. I think it's either 150 or 160 thou thick of S35 VN. So, the size comparison to these knives. So here you got a Hinder XM18, so 3.5-inch. So you can see that it measures up against this knife. If I were to do tip to tip right here, the Hinder, due to the fact that the handle's a little bit longer, it's overall is going to be a little bit longer, but it's got the same blade length blade cutting edge, if not actually bigger cutting edge, because the hinder's got the choil there, you know, on this Abrams V2. You know, compared to the Sebenza, it's got a shorter blade, but again, overall length is somewhat comparable. You know, then you have something like a tank of a Solo from Direware. You know, it's got a larger, it actually has a larger blade. You know, again, if I were to measure from where the handles start, it's got a larger blade, but then a much thinner and compact handle. And then this is a 3.5 inch knife from David Sharp. Can't remember the name. It's totally eluding me right now. Frame horn. So there you go. So there you get a size comparison of all these knives. So a very comparable blade length in these knives, and yet such a compact design and feel of the Voorhies Abrams V2. So this is, you know, this is definitely a dress knife in my opinion, but a very capable dress knife with a lot of blade length. You know, so you see how much this blade edge dips down into this very acute tip. Again, this is one of the thinnest grinds, you know, that I have in these knives. You know, that's not a Scandi grind, you know. So this one, I think my Fellholter is one of my thinnest edges, and then, you know, a Scandi grind that I had on my old Pohan Liu Bluefin. So yeah, but outside of that, I mean, you know, this is, Les makes a phenomenal knife, you know, and he offers up through his Facebook, and I'm not sure through USN, but on Facebook, if you follow him, you know, he has sign-up sales for a lot of his different knives, you know, whether it was the Tashi collaboration. I'm not sure if he has sign-up sale for that one, the Jetstream, but for a lot of other ones that he's doing, you know, you can at least have a legitimate chance, you know, just like everyone else, to sign up for a lottery, the sign-up sale, you know, at a chance to buy his knives. And they're reasonably priced, you know, at around $700 to $900, depending on the materials. And so definitely a custom maker worth checking out. I love Les's work, and so when I had a chance to get this Model 10, you know, I just jumped at it, you know, without hesitation. And this one is awesome. You know, this runs on IKBS as well, so it's extremely smooth. You can just see how it just drops into the frame very easily, and it just fires out like a rocket. So anyway, just a unique little look at this Abrams V2. In my opinion, it's a phenomenal one. I guess it's a little bit comparable to, from what I've seen, the Model 13 and maybe the 9, like the XL or whatever. So, or the Model 11. So I'm not sure what all the differences are on there. Just the blade profile might be a little bit different. Definitely this knife is much thinner than the other ones that I've seen from Les. So anyway, that's my quick little take on the Les George Abrams V2. Let me know what you guys think on the comments down below. As always, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next vid. Take care.